Hey guys, so today I'll be reading chapter 1 of a book I'm writing, The Tower, chapter 1. I was walking through the forest. It was dark, stormy and gloomy, but still I ventured far. The leaves were sticking to my jet black boots. I swear my dress was getting lifted up by something. I hurried more as the rain started to pour down on my skin. I was desperate for shelter. There were bunnies and rats behind me, so I ran further and further. I didn't know where I was going or how to get home. I walked and walked until I bumped into something. "Sorry," I said, but I realised it was a gate. A big, black, rusty metal gate. Well, that was embarrassing, I thought. With courage, I decided to open the gates, hoping not to get rust on my hands because that would be a nightmare to get off. There was a massive hill leading up to something, so as curious as I was, I walked up the hill until I reached a wooden door with a grey door knock on it. I decided to knock. No one answered. Then I heard it. Bang! And from the top of the window, lightning flickered. "Hello, is anyone here?" I asked. I heard a crash and then a groan. "Excuse me, are you okay? Should I call for help?" I gasped. Something opened the door. "What do you want?" said a man with a soft voice. "What's your name?" he asked again. "I'm Harper," I said with a grin. "What's your name?" Sir?" He looked suspiciously at me. He had the most beautiful grey eyes. They glowed like the moon. "My name is Aslan," he answered back. I didn't say anything. I just stared at the tall tower. "Does he actually live here?" "What are you staring at?" he asked angrily. "Oh, your house. Is it a tower?" I asked. Yes it is, Harper. I'll tell you something." I was so eager and asked, "What?" Sorry about that. He then replied very rudely, "Go home and never return. It's not safe here." He then dragged me down the hill and turned back to his house. I stood there confused. I didn't know how to get home, and he threw me back into the forest with rats and mice. I'm pretty sure the mice ate the bunnies, but who am I to say that? So again, I started walking through the damp, stormy village. Forest, not village. Thankfully, I saw a village. It looked so warm and cosy. It was my village, so I then trotted down home. "Phew! Mother, I am home!" I exclaimed when I walked through the door. "Ah, hello, Harper. How was your journey?" she asked. I didn't know how to describe it, so I shrugged and went up to my room. "Harper, darling, what's wrong?" my mother asked, concerned. By then, I was halfway up the stairs. However, Mother asked, "Harper, what's wrong? Are you okay?" I walked up the rest of the stairs and sat on my bed. I cried so hard I fell asleep. The next morning, Mother told me to go for a walk. "No," I said firmly. She looked at me with confusion. "Darling, what do you mean no? You love going for walks. Now get your day clothes," she replied. And of course, as the gullible 12-year-old I was, I went upstairs. I wore the darkest outfit ever. It had black tights, black dress, grey headband, and my stylish jet black boots. I got out my phone and watched a video, but then I saw the most mystical photo. "Wow," I gasped loudly. My mother chuckled. "What is so funny? You know you're not supposed to have your phone, Harper." She chuckled some more and took my phone off of me. "Mother, I want my phone back." How about no?" She gestured for me to leave the house, so I did. I walked out of the village and back to the forest, even if he said don't return. So my adventure actually gets interesting here. I walked through the damp forest, as I did yesterday, walked up the hill and reached the gates. I walked up the other hill and knocked on the wooden door again. "Hello, it's me again," I said happily. I heard another crash and another groan. The door opened slowly. "What are you doing here, child?" "I told you it's not safe here," he shouted. I scoffed. "I have a name, and I wanted to know what the lightning was." He sighed, knowing he couldn't get rid of me that easily. "The lightning was thunder, Harper," he said. However, before I could reply, a groan came from behind him. It was a hideous sight. I didn't know what it was. I didn't want to know, so I ran home. In fact, I screamed as I ran home. A few minutes later, I got home still screaming. So I hope you guys enjoyed. That was most of chapter 1. For some reason, it didn't save on my phone. So I'll read the rest of it from my iPad in part 2. And I also made some of chapter 2, so I'll be looking forward to that. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope that my book was interesting to you guys. Bye!